Oh, right. I cannot wait to do this one this morning. Caution, this podcast contains adult content, very foul language sometimes, but it's necessary to get the point across and for my pure own delight. I can't get this one out fast enough. Usually there's this bend in the road right now. I'm actually broadcasting from my mobile studio, which is my 1996 7.3 liter pickup truck on my way to work on this Tuesday. Wonderful, lovely morning in Southern California. North County, San Diego. And today's subject matter is, what is today's subject matter? Oh my, let me get past these bumps. Jesus, probably should have waited. For those of you watching, which I do post my podcast on YouTube, yeah, that's the worst part of it. That's coming out the gate. So yeah, today is systems thinking and gaining more personal freedom. And I don't even know. I've got to drop myself off over at Home Depot and get some materials, but I'm banking on that we're going to have traffic because I'm leaving a little later this morning. But systems thinking, guys, of how we can fine tune, how we can use almost like artificial intelligence. Oh, let's put it better this way. The system. It's the system. The system's doing things, messing up my life, controlling me, putting things in. No. Well, yes and no. That's a very difficult one to answer. But what I'm suggesting here today is that we look at the system and create our own systems. Let's understand systems of what we can do in our own homes, in our own backyards to actually turn life for the better. So with that, let's get into the show. Welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and if you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what this beautiful show is about, it's about creating a lifestyle design that improves quality of life for both people and for planet, exploring alternatives to the daily grind through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life raw. Well, I don't know where that one came from. So it gets very intricate. This could probably be a very long one. But systems thinking, guys, what is it that we're after? I look at this as a transfer of belief, as I said from yesterday's podcast. In sales, is you got to figure out what the person in sales, what they need. What are they looking for? What is their problem? Agitate the problem. And then what you need to do is transfer the belief. You believe in what you're doing. You need to somehow get that across to people so that they will accept you to do the job or to buy the goods, whatever it is that you're selling. They believe in you now. I think you need to figure out what to believe in yourself. If you're after money, I think that systems designs will work for you. If you're after time, if you're after more freedom, either way, systems designs, there needs to be some sort of system put in place so that you can, especially when you're on your own. So what I mean by you're on your own, it seems to me that most people, at least here in the United States of America, as President Bush said, America. And getting on the freeway here, bear with me, left turn, there we go, we're safe, we're not dead yet, testicles, we're all good. You need to get a system in design. So what do I mean by that? Now, I don't have a bread maker, but I just bought a juicer, a pure juicer that makes Nutter Butters and things of that nature. It's $2,500. Some of you may be saying, what the fuck is the matter with you, dude? 25, that's a car. This thing comes with a 12-year warranty. I'm not affiliated with anybody, which, by the way, I think I might want to keep it that way. But I would need support from you guys if I ever decided to try to monetize this show, because I want to keep it completely fucking free. No ties. I don't have to watch what I say or whatever. We keep it like original. OG, mother effer. She spared you enough work. Congratulations. Happy New Year. But yeah, I bought this juicer, and what I look at this is the investment in my own health. So my whole deal with this show, or not necessarily the show, I guess so, but my whole thing with my life is that I want more freedom. I'm not here to be a millionaire. I don't want to go through the gauntlet of all the shit that has to happen for being a millionaire. Not to say that every millionaire has to go through that, but I know what it is to get up and go to fucking work. I still get up pretty fucking early, but I choose to invest my time with my children right now while they're young to help them grow. So the time that they're developing, I have my priorities. I know what's important to me, and I got the juicer for my health because the juicer is a systems design For those of you who don't know, well, let's finish up with the health part. It's the easiest thing that you can do, the most quickest thing and less time consuming and actually save money is start juicing raw fruits and vegetables for yourself. It tastes wonderful. It's like oxygen in your mouth. It's like I told my daughter, just take a sip of this juice and tell me it doesn't feel like it's just going into your body and your body's saying, give me more. And it's just a wonderful thing. I'm starting off my biodegradable container gardening system, so I'm actually spin farming, those of you who don't know. Utilizing other people's land that I don't own. I own the soil goes in the baskets. Was there ever a fucking problem, I take my soil with me and we're out of there. But in exchange, I give these people fruits and vegetables, and I don't have to own land. I don't have to go through the down payment. I don't have to pay the property taxes, all these things. I just throw some money towards pay off whatever water I'm using, but I'm gonna have an excess of vegetables. And this is getting into systems thinking. What is happening here is that, for one, I've got a really bitchin' juicer, I hope, and is that I'm gonna grow more food than I can even eat. And I'm gonna give that away in exchange for using these people's land, but I'm also gonna give this away and turn my business into a buyer's group, into a gardening group. And I'm gonna grow exotic things and give them that, the excess, and the stuff that doesn't goes into my juicer for me to drink and for my kids. The excess from the juicer goes into the compost bin, which will be bokashi. For those of you who don't know, it's like a Korean, I don't know, Japanese, I don't know who the hell did it first, it doesn't matter, but the concept is it's like fermented pickled compost. These are things that you can do in your home in a bucket. So what it does is it ferments, and it's got the EM, what was it, the EM, yeah, the microorganisms that go in there and start pickling the stuff, so it doesn't really get too stinky. It holds a bunch of nutrients inside of itself, but that's the point. Is it's called bokashi. If you want to look to it further, I may do a podcast on it, but there's no excess, there's no waste. The waste either goes, just like I said, the vegetable juice goes into my body and my children's body. All the pulp at the end of that goes into the bokashi. From the bokashi, that could go into my worm bins. From my worm bins, that gives food for the worms to eat. They shit out worm castings for me. I take that in turn, and it gets recycled right back into my garden. I want you guys to start thinking about things of this nature. As I said last night, you need to watch the beast. You need to watch the system, especially the dentist. You know, seems like they just want to pull fucking teeth, man. I don't know. I might have to find a new dentist. Every problem they get, you know, they want to start yanking stuff out. But yeah, on dentistry, there's a water pick. For those of you who don't know, it's a little tiny jet. And I've told many people, again, I'm not affiliated with anything. I'm not trying to sell you guys on anything other than the experience, the positive experiences that I have and things to get you ahead, to move you from surviving to thriving, as the opening of the show suggests. These water picks, go in there and I implore you to try it. You'll actually smell a rancid smell come out of your back molars. Every once in a while, you'll get food stuck in these pockets. And if you, in conjunction with that, if you ozonize the water, if you put oxygen in the water, you have such things as we call I guess in soil too, but in aquaponics, it's anaerobic water or aerobic. Anaerobic has no oxygen, and the bacteria get in there and it starts to stink. And good bacteria is actually aerobic. It likes oxygen, it needs oxygen, it can't live without it. So when you oxygenate the water, as explained here in this example, and you use it in your teeth, it goes in and kills all that bacteria that's encapsulated inside your gums. Which in turn helps you chew better, helps you save money, it makes you healthier. So there's just so much. I don't even know where to go with systems thing. Here's another thought that I had for myself. You guys, those of you who follow me on Instagram and TikTok and all that kind of shit, you probably see me jogging all the time, or I used to before I was in the 2020 hustle. It's mainly on my mini retirements, is I like to stay fit. But I still got fat all over my back, my sides. I'm starting to get it on my chest. You know, I'm in my mid-40s here. I want to stay healthy. I want to play with my grandchildren when I'm an old man, if I live to be that long. And I also want to feel good. I want to look good, not for anybody else but myself. But I would look at people saying, well, you don't look good to make money, say, using social media, you know, systems thinking here. You're fat-ish or whatever. You know, you're not a model. You don't have what it takes there. But I would look at someone like me who's got flubber blubber all over their fucking body to start doing yoga, start doing exercises, and watch the transformation. And the systems thinking here is where I'm going with this, that anything is possible, guys. And actually, the dilemma that you're in, as we say in permaculture, which is permaculture is farming in harmony with nature, is sometimes the problem is the solution. So let's just think about that for a minute. I'm fat, and I got all this stuff stacked on me. Next thing you know, within 6 months to a year, I've got a six-pack abs, and now I'm looking like that Calvin Klein motherfucker. Well, I guess it's not Calvin Klein, but the people who wear it. You know, I got this ripped body here, but I didn't get there overnight. What is that going to do? That's going to transfer belief over to the other people. So if I'm somebody who feels they're overweight and I'm watching some fucking Calvin Klein motherfucker standing there flexing his abs while he's talking, you know, playing with his doing that little tit dance thing, I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I'm gonna look and go, shit, I don't have that. Why? I don't even want to see this shit. But if I flashed you a picture, or if he flashed you a picture of what he looked like a year ago and what he had to do to get there, and you understood this methodology, you're like, shit, I can go through this too. So now it opens up the door of the transfer of belief. So people who are in hardship, I think, have that story to tell, which a lot of people need. I think a lot of people want. They don't want to just see somebody who's successful. Those are the dummies, I think, that look and go, well, I can have that overnight. Nobody gets there overnight. I can't say nobody, but very, very few. It's hard work. So systems thinking, guys, as I said earlier on the show with the bread maker, I want to kind of talk about your home, and actually what we're after. What's your agenda? What's your endeavor here? Like I said, mine is for freedom and more time, and I think that should be yours as well, especially if you're going to go after big bucks and you want to be a millionaire or something. You got to figure out the game. You got to figure out the gauntlet. You got to come up with a plan. And how do you come up with that? You need time. So systems thinking inside the home, beyond me bringing fruits and vegetables, is the way I cook, the way I do things. There's bread makers. You just pour the ingredients inside this bread machine and you walk away. You can actually put a timer on this thing and it'll start in the morning. You can put it on at 3 o'clock in the morning. I think it takes approximately 3 hours to make. By the time you wake up, depending on, you know, if it's not 5:30 like me, you know, you get up at like 6:37, you got a fresh loaf of bread just sitting there waiting for you, already pre-done like a robot. It's a system. If you guys look at, you're getting scared of AI and everything. I am too. I don't understand the full thing of it. Robots are going to take over. As I said, what is the system doing besides listening to us? You know, which we're going to get into in a minute here. But what are they doing? They're automating a lot of things. How can we replicate this thing in our own home? By using bread machines, a blender to make your smoothies, make a bunch of smoothies. As I said, stacking function, time management. I'll make 5 smoothies for the entire week. Can I drink 5 smoothies before they go rancid? No, I can't. So I'll take 2 of those and I'll stick them in the freezer. I'll drink one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday. By Wednesday, I take the 2 out of the freezer. I put them in my solar-powered refrigerator in the back of my truck. If you don't have one, you can pull it out the night before, put it in your lunchbox. By the time you get to work the next day, it's completely thawed out. Which, by the way, I've been making about a quart of juice per day. Carrots, apples, I think I did a little bit of beets, oranges, and celery. An entire quart a day. And then I also drink an entire quart of organic chocolate protein powder with peanut powder, some maca powder, some banana, apples, and some coconut milk. All organic. And between those 2, I've been doing just fine. I do come home for dinner and I'm starving. I'm like, I'm gonna eat the shit out of stuff, but it does hold me over and is helping to clean my body out. And it's cheap as shit. So you guys can see, and it doesn't take a lot of time. The problem is people get they're not systems thinking, is they'll go and make a cup of coffee every single day. They'll go make a loaf of bread every single day. They'll juice every single day so it's nice and fresh. You got to do things in batches. You got to think of a system that works for you and take a look at that on the macro, not the micro. Get on the macro and look at how much you can do. The other thing I do is thermal cooking. I made el bondigas, Mexican meatball soup. That's what I have for possibly dinner tonight. And I made a whole giant jar or pot of this stuff. And I got it in the freezer for those days when I'm working and I don't feel like doing much. I pull that out, heat it up on the stove, and bam, not only do we have some really good food, we have some really healthy food. And it's all there locked up in a bank. I remember the Xbox, my ex-wife, would tell me, why do you buy so much food and stuff? First of all, she should have been doing all the grocery shopping. Just kidding. Jokes, folks, jokes. But seriously, what the fuck? But in a catastrophe and systems thinking, I have a freezer full of food, and not only do I have a freezer full of food, I have like already prepped out food. So let's say I was injured or something, like it's like I could just tell my daughter, go grab the albondigas, put that on the stove. You know, I've got these large 35-gallon, I think, propane tanks. I got like 3 of them. I cook everything off propane and heat my home off propane. My tiny home, by the way. So it's very efficient. But in a catastrophe, in case somebody was injured, propane doesn't really go bad. I'm going to use it anyway, eventually, so why not buy extra? And by buying in bulk, you actually save some money. That's systems thinking, guys. Let's go into like your yard too. So I look at things of like capturing the rainwater, especially if you live on like a 1/4 acre or 1/2 acre or something, or you're spin farming like I'm doing. Catching your rainwater and storing it in barrels is ridiculous. I mean, getting a few I think would be okay, but the amount of water that's going to come off a 10 by 10 foot area, put it this way, per square foot in a 1-inch rain, you're going to get about 0.6 gallons of water in 1 inch of rain per square foot. That's let's just say a 1/2 gallon. You get a good storm depending on how big your home is, you're going to fill those things up quite fast, and you're probably going to have a lot of barrels. Why not store that water in the ground? Store that water in the ground, divert it over to its highest point, because just like people, water likes to take the path of least resistance, just like human nature. Yep, there, I said it. But you see how this water stores in the ground. It actually helps the microorganisms, feeds your trees, and you don't have to do a damn thing about it. I mean, I can go on with cloud nets, and that would actually be a whole podcast all in of itself. Let's skip on to the next one. Here's what I'm looking at with people. I think that, like the system, as people are insinuating, I don't know if it's true. None of these things I look at. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but people are saying that they're listening to you on your phone. I think that it's rather odd that things that I've spoken of, not typed in as far as to my knowledge, actually popped up. I forget what it was. It was some sort of thing I was talking about. Next thing I know, an advertisement pops up for the very thing that I was talking about. I mean, it could have been coincidence. I don't know. But what these systems doing is closing their mouth, shutting up. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but that's kind of what you have to do, because it's a very difficult thing. Me, with communication with people, I'm trying to learn to just shut up and not intervene, even though people will cut you off constantly. And you can see this apparent through podcasts all the time. People get excited, they got a lot they want to say, so they'll deliberately cut each other off to get their point across before anybody else can say anything. But what I find fascinating is that we all complain about stupid people and people who don't want to get shit done. And what I look at through systems thinking is that we're looking at this the wrong way. There's actually a way to utilize. Let's talk about how to utilize stupid people or unmotivated people who just want to get by the path of least resistance. So I'm going to give you guys an example here. This is how I think that we could really have peace on earth, really, to a large extent. It doesn't solve all the problems, but the most of it is you shift the energy back on the other person. I think I've already spoken about this before, I'm not sure, but in my biodegradable container gardening system, I can do a home-based business where people can go get a pair of wire cutters and go buy some roll fencing. I give them a template of what to cut, how to cut it, and I don't pay workers' compensation. I don't pay shit. These people go buy their own stuff. They make me baskets, and it's up to them how many baskets they make. It's how much they get paid for. Say it's $1 per basket. It's not my fault that they made 50 baskets and all they got was $50 in a week. They could have made 1,000 baskets in a week, which is totally possible. And they could have made $1,000. I almost said I couldn't do the math. You see where that's going, is you're shifting the energy over to the people that you don't know what to do with. Because I think if you are smart and you do understand system designs, you need to do business. You need to get your dreams off the ground, or you need to run your country or your people or your tribe or your family. And if there's somebody who's wanting to be a pawn and not a player, pawn, yeah, look at that. Don't be a pawn, be a player all day. But anyways, yeah, you see somebody who wants to just get by. There's ways that you can utilize these people that helps them. That, like in my design system here, they're making money, and you're also making money. It's an equal value for value exchange. Now, for doing business, I can see as well, is that some people almost need to be bent. They almost need to be told what they're doing. And I find this a lot in my show, or in my construction business, is what I heard was, we're on a budget and we're trying to save stuff. And I'm here, so I listen, we figure out what the problem is. And the person says they want a whole new roof, they want this, that. And I'm like, no. And then I come in and I just say, no, you don't. I bend them, right, to what they were asking for. A lot of people talk, but they don't quite see, they can't perceive, I think, of what they're saying. Their brain starts wandering. And if you can be quiet enough and find the cookies, you can find exactly what it is they're looking for. You know what they're looking for better than they do by just listening. Very powerful thing to just quiet and listen. As the systems design, as people are saying with the government or whatever, the corporations listening to every word you say on your phone, they know they're catering to what you want, what you're looking for. Google does the same fucking thing. Facebook, they're all tied in together, sharing information. You asked about, inquired about basketballs, they're gonna, on a video, and they're gonna offer, hey, it's just smart marketing. But in that sales, you can actually find out what the person wants, and you can actually deliver it to them. So the other thing I think is this is a gift in disguise, is that people are actually snitching on themselves. I have that right now where I'm looking to get other spin farms going, and actually to buy things like compost product. I get people who don't return my phone calls. I just offered to say, hey, I'd buy an entire pellet. If those people can't return a phone call, what are they going to do if I set up my membership program where all my members get 10% off burlap sacks and fertilizers and things of that nature, and they get there and everything goes wonky because they're not returning phone calls, they forgot about the 10%, it makes me look bad, the customer's pissed. These are people that don't want to do business. So I think that this is actually the most awesome thing, because it makes you move faster in life. I think with personal relationships, if you want to get into a marriage, if you want to find a friendship, if you want to find a mentor, anybody, a buddy, is you can kind of read people by almost baiting them, or just talking to them and seeing what their systems design is, if they even understand that there's a systems design. And if these people want to get by with the least path of resistance, then you've just got that figured out. It shortcomes it, especially if you're going to get into a business relationship, or God forbid, marry somebody. You don't want to get together with somebody who's just looking for the path of least resistance. I think that's kind of what happened to me, man. I was just too dumb to see, So, yeah, we taking a look at these things of how they function, how people function with them, I think can shortcut us into very many beautiful things. We're not looking at this thing properly. We're investing our time in the wrong things, as I said on yesterday's podcast. We're investing in all the negativity, when actually all the negativity is exposing itself. It's kind of reminds me of all of these people posting on Instagram and stuff, how rich they are and how cool things are. Let's just see what happens when the economy collapses and how that Ferrari fucking tastes. I've seen this so many times in my life. It's the long game, right? Life is not a sprint. It's a long game. You better damn well understand the systems thinking, the systems, how they work. And if you come in too late in the game, I think that it gets very confusing. But let's watch all these people, what's going to happen, and watch them all go down. And where are they now? Smoking crack, laying in the gutter. I'll suck your dick for $1, So systems, I remember with aquaponics and the worm castings and all these things, cloud nets, it becomes where people don't even understand the first fucking thing you're talking, Bokashi. I can design a piece of property, I feel, doing so many things, so many systems designs, where somebody like the Xbox, I remember she'd come in at the house that we were in, and she's like, I don't understand, you got stuff all over the place and it looks like nothing. She doesn't understand the systems design. She doesn't really care to understand the systems design. But it gets as intricate or as simple as you want. As I said, cooking your own food, doing stuff in batching, saving up time, treating like your appliances and stuff like robots. And I think that the further and further we go here, especially the phone, man, the phone is deadly in a good way. There's so much opportunity with the phone. It's what I'm doing right now. I'm getting this message off to you guys, for Christ's sakes. And I'm selling a job today with it. I'm signing a contract with it. Lordy Lord, I keep saying this, guys. This is one of the best times to be alive, and I think that the opportunity is wide open on so many spectrums. As I said, if you think that you're in a spot, you're too fat to make a health fucking video. Bullshit. You know what that's going to do too is that's going to motivate you to get off your ass to start exercising, because that's a part of your business now. As I say, stacking functions all the time. That's what I'm doing. Well, I haven't made a penny yet. I'm paying on it. We're going to see how that goes, and I'm taking you guys with me. But on my garden business, I'm going to film. I'm going to make YouTube videos, teach people how to do it, do courses, and so many things. Barter for seeds, and I'm going to make money off it through my membership program. I've already got people lined up for it. I'm so excited to move. I hope that I'm going to be able to move out of the construction business. I kind of have to. For those of you who don't know my story, I got to take care of my daughter full time. So hopefully I can get this with her and we can go conquer the world with goodness. So that's the show, guys. I was rolling this one off the cuff. I want to get some really good things, a little bit more organized for you guys. I kind of want to know what you guys want to hear. If you guys can comment below, DM me or PM me, whatever, on the Facebook group or on Instagram, whatever. However you want to reach me, give me my email. It's always at the bottom of the descriptions below. There's even an address if you want to send me an address. If you want to send me anything, a death threat, a bomb, a bouquet, some fucking ice cream, 30-pack of Keystone Light beer, whatever. Send me something and let me see if I can cater to what you guys want to hear. I would like to say too is that systems design, my systems design in business, I don't know how to prove this to you guys, so I guess anybody could show like checks and stuff, but January we grossed, netted after materials and everything, just under or just over $20,000. That's how much I netted. That's not after taxes. It's going to say probably after taxes more like 10 grand, maybe even 15 grand, because we're not done yet. There's gonna be a bunch of write-offs and stuff like that with January. We still got the end of the week here. So systems thinking, lifestyle design, is it working? Fucking A, it's fucking working. As I told you guys, I'm hoping this year to be able to make enough money to where I've got 2020 covered. I got it all covered, meaning all my expenses, my gas, my cell phone, everything, food, my budget. As long as I follow my budget, I will not have to think about money until 2021. The rest of the money, if I decide to keep working and not take a mini retirement, it's too early. It's going to be fuck money is what I call it. It means going out there and playing around and not giving a fuck, and maybe investing it in some good times, which I probably won't because I'm over responsible. But I don't know how to prove that to you guys. I think that would I think a lot of people have like this bait, right? That they kind of want to show you, look at me, look at that, I drive an old pickup. You guys are going to see me in this fucking old pickup truck for the rest of my life. As I say, when I die, I told them I want you guys to take all the oil pan and the motor out and everything, but just encapsulate me in here, roll me off into the ocean or bury me in the dirt, because this is my Viking ship. Unless I won the lottery, my special needs daughter wants to get a Sprinter and she wants to travel around. She wants to go camping. But yeah, dude, life is fucking fantastic for me, and life should be getting better and better for you every single year. If it's not, there's something fucking wrong, guys. We need to get systems design. We need to get the thinking. All these things I shared with you today are examples. I want to sit down and really articulate this in a format where it's kind of bullet pointed, I think, and things that you can do. I always try to give you guys examples of what I'm doing so that you can kind of mimic it. Not saying that you have to do exactly what it is that I'm doing, but you hear the story and it gets you into exactly what the show is called, systems thinking. You visualize all these things and look at the situation you're in or play around with it. Einstein said one of the most powerful tools that he had was called I think it was called mind experiments. And Temple Grandin said the same thing. She designs things and dry runs it in her head. I do this constantly. It's free, guys. Look at a situation around you and think to yourself, how could you fix it? The power of observation and of perspective is huge. This is how lifestyle design happens. This is the whole motive, because I'm watching things around me and watching people, and I've got a lot of fucking questions, and I'm scared to shit. Listening to statistics, the analytics of what's going on with the average American, especially the middle class, and more, my family members and people that I know that I've watched and been with for many, many years, and watching their unhappiness, watching them go from what they thought was success to a bunch of shit, to a relationship they fucking hate, that they resent, that they can't get back with their own family members. This is sad. This is fucked up. This is not the way life should be. So you guys need to go out there, look at the things that I speak of today, and go figure out for yourself, how the hell could you bend the world in your favor? The world does not bend you unless you allow it to. You bend it. You take the system's design and you take all the stuff that people are talking shit about and you turn that into fucking mind magic. You turn that into compost and you go get your seed, your personal soul seed, and you go plant something inside your soul and watch it grow. We are not pieces of shit. We are not stuck. This is not the fucking end all of end alls. Nobody tells us what the fuck to do, except for the IRS to pay your taxes, you know, and the police officer. You don't go do stupid shit. You know, I'm not religious, but maybe you should listen to the words of Jesus Christ. You should not murder your brother, go rape your sister, any of these things, steal, lie, cheat, any of those. But with that, guys, this is the best time to be alive. I'm fucking fired up. We're making really good money. Things are rolling. The carpet, yes, for those of you who follow me, could get just fucking ripped out from under my fucking feet. But you know what? I got other plans. I got ambitions. I've got mind magic, and I will make something happen, as I always fucking do. And that's how I want you guys. I want to transfer this belief. I want to transfer this feeling that I have inside me to you, to fire you the fuck up. And know that you have so much potential, so much freedom and things out there just waiting for you to grab. And most of it is the examples are right there. You know, like I said, most people are lazy. Most people are dumb. We get angry. You know what this is? This is positivity, because if they're not going to fill that slot, guess who gets to do that? If you think that you're smart and you think that you can do a better job and you can prove it, you got your chance, man. The majority of people are just sitting there wanting to do nothing about it. So get up, get motivated, get excited, and go out there and really, in a good way, fuck shit up, brothers and sisters. Go check out the TikTok, the Instagram, the private Facebook group. You ask to join, I approve everybody there. YouTube, Spotify, Apple iTunes, all that kind of stuff. And as I say, guys, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Human up. Live it. Love it. Own it. Bone it.